Hi, how's it going everyone? Welcome to the 8th episode of this Sunday night report where we discuss everything Legends of Runeterra related, news, meta, tips, tricks, and everything under the sun. I'll be sharing some updates on my channel and also things that I'm interested in. But firstly, Legends of Runeterra meta. As you can see, Nessus Trash has been performing very well. 15% usage rate, 40,000 matches. Almost all of the other decks you can see that is half of how many people play Nessus Trash, and it has a 56% win rate, which is the highest among all the decks here. And that's a lot, you know. If you look at this, right, this matchup is actually very strong. It has like it's like every single matchup against meta decks, right, it has higher than half, except for Trundle, Lissandra, and Shen J4, which is still quite even, which is not bad. But you can see that it's beating all the other decks here. And that is very, I mean it might be nerfed soon. I'm not very sure, but if you are looking to climb rank and win, right, you can consider crafting Nessus Trash. And if you saw the video that I released yesterday, the Jinx Azure Vonip deck, right, I fought against Nessus Trash, and I had so much aggression, you know. I dealt so much damage. I almost won, but in the end, Nessus was able to rack up a lot more slays. And he reached 13-13, I think. Then he used Atrocity to kill me, to kill me, and I have no denies at all, and I just lost. I mean, even my deck had so much aggression, so much burst power, it still couldn't kill Nessus Trash. I think Nessus Trash is quite strong because of how it has early game, early aggression as well. It has all these Shadow Owls creature that can quickly do a lot of damage and rack up a lot of slays for Nessus, and then Trash levels out very easily as well with all your creatures dying, and Trash can summon a free Nessus, and this makes it so powerful, man. But if you are on a budget, you can still consider looking at Spider Aggro, but you can see that people kind of took notice of the influx of aggro decks like last week, and people are playing like a lot of anti-aggro decks that can destroy aggro very easily. And I mean, I think it can still climb rank. If you are trying to climb to gold, it can still do quite well, but I think after gold, it might be quite challenging, you know, where the decks are more established and more optimized. People have more cards where they can create better decks. I think aside from that, another good deck that you might consider if you can consider trying to craft. If you are not interested in Nessus Trash, you can consider Trundle, Lissandra. You can see that almost all of these decks here have some sort of red spot. So this goes to show that, you know, they have some bad matchups here. Black spots are like almost even matchup. Green is good, but red is like quite bad. You are losing like 4 out of 10 times, which is not that great, isn't it? And except for Lissandra Trundle, you can see that everything is like there's no red at all. Literally no red aside from Nessus Trash. And you know, with the current meta with so many aggro decks running around, Lissandra Trundle literally wrecks all of them because of how many AoE removals it has included in the deck, you know. And you can stall the game very easily, and it's a very straightforward control deck you can play. I mean, it's very easy for like newbies, and even for me as an amateur player, it's very easy to pilot. It's not like Karma Ezreal where you need to think so much, or Draven Ezreal is also quite difficult to pilot, but Lissandra Trundle is straightforward, where you just try and control the board early on until turn 8. Then when you have your combo where you can throw a lot of Ice Pillars to quickly level up Lissandra and get the Watcher, and you summon more Ice Pillars to get Watcher to 0 cost, and you summon Watcher and mill the opponent deck and you win the game. Simple as that. And this is one of the most unique win conditions also. In this current meta, everything wins by hitting the Nexus, right? But this is different. This mills the opponent's deck, which is a unique win condition here. So if you're looking for something interesting, high win rate, you can consider this deck, which is quite good. And if you're interested in this deck, you can stay tuned next week. Maybe on Monday, I will probably be releasing. I've actually recorded a video of me playing Lissandra Trundle, which is very fun, and I'm gonna be posting it next week for sure, so stay tuned. And aside from this, like, I mean, Spider Aggro is like, I think aside from that, what are the cheap decks? There really isn't. Spider Aggro is the cheapest here, but it's not performing that well. But I mean, It's okay. It's okay. If you are trying to climb early rank, it's fine. But that's the current meta, and it's great. The meta is changing every week. Last week was Shen J4, but now it's Nessus Trash, and that is the reason why Legends of Runeterra is exciting, isn't it? The meta constantly changes, and the meta is going to change again. In 2 weeks' time, I think. So if you are looking to craft a deck right now, you might want to hold off a bit on it, because on the first week of May, new cards is going to be released. So you might things are going to change again. Like just save your shards, man. I mean, like we are already past. It's almost more than a month since the new set has been released, and it's going to come out again. Like new cards are going to come out. So I think it's best to wait until first week when it first release. Then maybe wait about another week or two when the meta stabilizes. Then you can start crafting your decks. That's the best time. Yep. Next, we'll be talking about unique decks. I mean, it's almost been a year since this channel has started, you know. And I created so many videos, interesting decks and all these things, and I thought I should just look back and just highlight a few interesting decks that y'all can try out. I mean, I had a lot of fun playing these decks, so I'll let me showcase to you guys. There are 5 decks I want to show. Yeah. First is Vaults of Helia. Vaults of Helia was one of the decks and the video that made my channel like somewhat popular to some extent. Like it brought in a lot of followers. Not insane amount, but still not bad. So let me just search it up for you guys. And even though it's not just it brought in a lot of followers, but it's an interesting deck. So this is the deck that I played. So I had 2 videos on it, which is playing the same decks. But this deck is one of the first time when Landmarks was released. And you know, Landmarks was so interesting back then, you know. Like the first time it released Landmarks, they definitely went with the most unique route, unique Landmarks. But now Landmarks are slightly less unique. But you know, the first time when Landmarks was released, Vaults of Helia was very interesting. I mean, it's mechanic. If you are new here, you should definitely try it out. You are able to sacrifice your creature and you summon a creature that is slightly stronger. I think 1 mana and above. So if you sacrifice a 3 mana creature, you get a 4 mana creature back. So every single round, you keep on sacrificing your creatures, and you slowly climb up the curve. This allows you to build towards Commander Ledros, and it's very useful in a Anivia zombie deck. You can kill your own Anivia, which is 6 cost, and you summon Rekindler, and your Rekindler comes out and it summons another Anivia because your previous Anivia died. And this allows you to build tons of Anivias. And eventually you reach Ledros, you are able to have a nice 6 very strong creature, and if Ledros dies, you can summon Ledros again to halve your opponent's health. This makes it very interesting. But this deck is kind of like a meme deck right now. I mean, if you are able to build the combo up, it's a very fun win. But it's not great in the meta right now. I mean, Zombie Anivia might be better, but this is kind of a meme status deck, which is still quite fun. The next deck is Howling Abyss. Howling Abyss is another one of those Landmarks that was released alongside with Vaults of Helia, and it's one of the most interesting Landmarks in the current Legends of Runeterra. And you can see that I only have 1 video. It's quite hard to build this combo because Howling Abyss is a very unique Landmark where it's a 7 cost Landmark that creates a level 2 champion every single round. And to get this up is very difficult. Turn 7 you drop this. It has absolutely 0 impact when you drop it, you know. You are losing a lot of tempo. You are not dropping any cards to deal damage, you're not dropping any cards that can defend against it. You have to be able to survive beyond turn 7 after you drop Howling Abyss. So turn 8, turn 9, turn 10, that's where the impact comes in. And you're hoping that you're able to get level 2, very strong level 2 champions. Sometimes you get Teemo, and that sucks. And you just like kind of lose the game, isn't it? But you're hoping for very strong creatures like maybe cards like, I don't know, what is there? Nautilus, Aesol, and all these things. And even if you get these level 2 champions, it's not free, you know. This level 2 champion, you still have to cast it. I mean, of course, it is level 2, slightly better, but you still need to cast it. And all these very good champions like Aesol, I mean, you only can cast it once per turn, so you are still losing tempo to some extent. If your opponent has a wider board advantage than you, it can still deal damage to you and you can still lose, because you are only dropping one strong champion a turn. But this makes it very fun, the fact that you can get a lot of level 2 champions and see how these level 2 champions work together and win the game, which is interesting. But I lost quite a fair bit playing this deck. It never entered the meta at all, so you can clearly see how bad it is. But it's still quite fun. Next is Soraka Vladimir deck. I mean, these are for the fans of Vladimir decks. I think this deck might have a chance of entering the meta if there are more support cards. So this is the deck that I played. It's stronger Soraka Vladimir deck. This is the same. I played the same deck. This essentially is using the self-damaging effects of your Noxus cards. You damage your own creatures, and you use Soraka's like Targon Stargazer to gain elusive status. So essentially, Stargazer is like a 4-cost card. When you heal your own creatures, you are able to grant them elusive. And with Noxus creatures, you are able to deal damage to yourself, and from there you can heal yourself using Soraka and other healing spells, and you gain elusive status. And this makes it super strong as a late game winning strategy, because your Vladimir levels up, your Vladimir drains your opponent and deals damage to all your creatures, and then you use healing spells to heal all your creatures with Stargazer on the battlefield, and you can hit your opponent's face with your elusive creatures, which is awesome, isn't it? Vladimir and elusive never doesn't seem like a thing together, but it seems to be like perfect here. Yeah. And then Brand Shadowblade. This is something that is quite recent, and it's not created by me, it's created by another player. But I thought this is interesting. You hardly see meme decks entering Master Rank status, and this is the Master Rank player that played this Brand Shadowblade deck, and this is one of the strongest Brand Shadowblade decks out there. It really takes advantage of Grand Plaza. Even though Grand Plaza got nerfed, but it's still quite strong because Brand Shadowblade has quick attack. And one of the biggest issue with Brand Shadowblade is that your Brand Shadowblade is too weak already. Even though I think it's 4-3 or 3-3, if your opponent has like higher health, then you lose, right? You can't trade properly, your quick attack doesn't go through. But Grand Plaza grants Challenger, and it allows you to choose which creature you want to attack into. And this allows you to attack into weaker creatures to generate a lot of these Shadow Fiends. And this allows Brand Shadowblade to survive even longer. And then you can create more Shadow Fiends. And these Shadow Fiends are very good because you can use it with your Grand Plaza to challenge other creatures as well. Because usually when all these Shadow Fiends, you drop it on the board, you attack, you don't get to choose which creature your opponent blocks the Shadow Fiend with, right? And that kind of sucks, but this makes it very strong. And this is worth trying out if you're interested in Brand Shadowblade. Next is Mega Sparklefly. This is one of the most recent deck that I recently created. I was hoping that it will blow up, but it feels like my videos never blow up. It's just like a average kind of view rate every time. But I mean, it's fine. I was hoping this will blow up, but it seems like people are not super interested. But this is quite interesting. You are summoning very powerful Sparklefly by casting Destiny's Call on Sparklefly, which gives your Sparklefly +8/+8. And then you are using counterfeit copies to copy this Sparklefly, these like 10 Sparkleflies, and put it into your deck. And then you quickly cycle through your deck and get more Sparkleflies, and can drop all these 10 Sparklefly on the board and destroy your opponent. Yeah, this is quite an interesting meme deck. So if you're interested, you can try it out. Yeah. So these are one of the 5 interesting decks that y'all should try out. I mean, it's always good to revisit old decks. And then the last part is, okay, we are hitting 15 minutes. I'm not quite sure anybody will be watching soon, so yep, let's go to meme time. So if I had a penny for every time I level up Garen right before the round, then I get the attack token anyway. So this kind of shows it's kind of sad, isn't it? It's like, it's almost impossible for some reason. Like, Garen is such a vanilla character, but like, how many times do we get to level up Garen? And of course, we need to think back, how many times do we play Garen? And you know, even if you play Garen, it's almost impossible to get him to level 2. For some reason, even though he's 5-5, right, he just dies so easily. I don't know why. And he doesn't create any impact. I'm hoping that Garen gets like a buff or some support cards to make Garen interesting. I mean, Garen is such a staple, you know. He looks like a very simple character, and he should be stronger. I mean, if it's simple, it should be strong, right? I mean, you're sacrificing some unique effects. It doesn't have very unique effects, so, you know, I feel that it should go higher stats-wise. Like 6-6 would be strong, would be good. Yeah. So aside from that, I think there's nothing more. And I think if you are still watching, that's all for Legends of Runeterra news. And something interesting that I found on YouTube. This is the last part. This is something where I just share crap that I'm interested in, you know. This is something that is very funny. I found this, you know, you see like Hollywood, Bollywood and all this, and this is like African Hollywood, which is, this was randomly recommended to me, which is insane. You all should watch this. You all should watch this.
A great warrior Chibuka Omumbare died in Uganda Bunyoro conflicts. Years later,
You should take note of all the special effects. It's damn funny. It's like what the fuck, right? And what the fuck is this? What the fuck is going on?
Isaac Ninja, a savior, the great grandson of Chibuka Omumbare. Lindelira.
So funny. It's like
Once,
do you even understand what's the story? Like, I don't even understand. Just this random kid jumps out of nowhere, strikes the ground, and this guy managed to jump over the fence, or not even teleport beyond the fence. It's like, and I don't even understand what is going on. It's like, I mean, it definitely piqued my interest for sure. It's like, who is Isaac Ninja? It feels like an Avengers movie, right? Some sort of Captain America movie. But this was funny. I was just stunned when I watched this. It's like, the visual effects really make it for me, you know. The visual effects, it's amazing. Yeah. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I mean, it's good to end this report on a happy note, on a fun note. So thanks for watching, guys. So stay tuned for tomorrow for a video on, I guess, on Trundle Lysandra. So have a nice day, guys.